continue with three-phase induction motor. Last day what we did, we'll do a brief 2-minute study about what we did last day. We studied about how our induction motor is rotating. We took the basic principle that if a conductor carrying current is placed in a magnetic field, force will act upon it, it will make it rotate. So that was our basic principle. According to Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, the voltage means EMF was getting generated, and because of that EMF some current was flowing through the conductor and a force was acting upon that was making it rotate. The direction of rotation was given by Lenz's law. Now next thing what we found out, that since we are giving a three-phase supply to the induction motor, we were getting a rotating magnetic field, and there are two conditions of producing the rotating magnetic field. One is we need to have a three-phase system or a single-phase two-phase system, so that it has a resultant. Means in a three-phase you will have three fluxes, three currents in three different directions, and at any instant you will have any resultant which will have some magnitude as well as some direction. And secondly, all the field coils or the field magnet should be placed 120 degrees apart in space. Next thing, some person was asking about the electrical angle and mechanical angle. Yes, last day I told no over here, but I gone through it and understood your statement. Over here, electrical angle for this case, in this diagram, electrical and mechanical angles are same. Because why I am saying? Because all the supply which is given over here, A, B, C, we are giving three-phase supply. To the A, we are giving reference, suppose V at an angle 0 or I at an angle 0. To B, we are giving V at an angle minus 120 or I at an angle minus 120. To this C, we are giving V at an angle minus 240 or plus 120. Plus, your poles are situated 120 degrees apart. This is my reference pole, A pole. Then from here to this pole is 120 degrees. Then from this pole to this pole is another 120 degrees. So in this case, my electrical and mechanical angles are both equal to 120 degrees. Achha. Next thing what we saw is took a three-phase system and checked our resultant, and we found out that our resultant was moving in a circle which is in a circle. I told you it will be radius will be same. We will find out that in today's lecture. Is moving in a circular way from this blue point. It is moving in this whole circle. It will follow to red, then go to green, follow this whole circle, and so it is rotating in nature. So that's why we are calling this as, excellent. We are calling this as rotating magnetic field. বল, tell me.
স্যার বলছি আমাকে এই জায়গাটা একটুখানি বলে দিন, এই যে ফেজারের মতো নিচে রয়েছে না,
হ্যাঁ
এই ওয়েভফর্মটা নিচে, স্যার এই সার্কেলগুলোর উপরটাই জাস্ট।
আচ্ছা হ্যাঁ over here what we are taking is that you see at this point dotted line, dotted line. At this dotted line you are finding this blue line over here. At this blue line is reaching its peak at this dotted line. So if you see this is dotted line, blue means A peak means positive peak of A. Positive direction of A is given over here in this direction, blue line. So I have drawn it over here. When it is reaching its peak over here, if you draw a proper three-phase waveform, you will see that the other two waveform phasors reaches its half point. Means if it is 5 over here, these values are 2.5 and negative, it becomes negative. You can see the waveform over here, it is becoming negative. Red is coming in the negative direction, green is also in the negative direction, and it is intersecting at the same point. So your green line and red line will have the same values but in the negative direction. So green is B, this positive B is in this direction. So where will be negative B? Opposite direction. So I have drawn green in the opposite direction. Red line also.
Sir, bolchi green ta red da mane opposite direction.
Yes, because see negative, sinusoidal and negative. The magnitude of this is negative going in this direction. This is a positive half cycle, na? This is positive up to this is positive red line. Then it is going in the negative direction. So below
blue taka red taka to dhara jeto sir.
Konta? Which one?
স্যার ব্লু আর রেড যেটা রয়েছে সেটাকেও তো নেগেটিভ পজিটিভ, মানে
Blue is
রেডটাকে নেগেটিভ
positive, no?
আর
Red is negative.
ব্লুটাকে পজিটিভ।
Now blue is positive. This is the positive blue. See the dotted line, where the dotted line is intersecting your blue, green and red waveform. See, blue is positive half cycle. Then blue will be positive only. See this dotted line over here. Red is, the dotted line is cutting red and green when it is becoming negative. So obviously red and green will be negative. So this, see, red and green over here, drawn over here, is positive over here in the right hand side. This red and green. So negative will be opposite direction. So I have done opposite direction.
আচ্ছা
And
আচ্ছা তাহলে রেফারেন্স জন্য ডান দিকে ছোট ওইটা এঁকে নিতে হবে না?
this is common sense. No problem. You can draw it. You can draw it for your own thing. This is minus C. This is minus B. No problem. This is minus B. This is minus B. Okay. So that's why. So that's why I've drawn this one minus B over here, minus C over here, and plus A. This is for your. Okay, so we found out that our rotating field that was produced because we are giving a supply which is three-phase. Once again, three-phase supply, we are getting a rotating magnetic field. Now what we'll do is, now we'll find out this magnitude. I told you this radius is all same. See the circle which I have drawn, all same radius. If you can observe, all of same radius. So this length, the resultant, is same for all cases, but it is rotating. It is once in this direction, once in this, once in this. Now, since this B was rotating in nature, this conductor is also rotating. There will be a relative velocity V, and there will be always an EMF. And because of that EMF, a current will flow, and a force will act upon the conductor, and it will make it rotate. That was what we studied last time. Now today we will study about synchronous speed. I had also used the term synchronous speed last day. As I was telling, this magnetic field is rotating in a speed which is given by synchronous speed ns. Okay, that we'll study now. What is that synchronous speed? Means what is that speed of the rotation of the magnetic field when three phase is applied. This is a diagram I have taken from your Bhimra book. Last time I think you had studied in machine 1. Sorry. See, if you observe your B and EMF, your supply is AC, so all your current, EMF, flux, magnetic field intensity, all will be same waveform. So you are getting a sine wave. Now why this sine wave comes? If you think just in a simple way, if there are two poles, this is north and this is south, what happens? When the rotation is made from north to south, you get a positive half cycle. And when this moves from, again there is a rotation from north to south, then you get the next half cycle over here. This is how you get a waveform E. And then you attach a commutator to make it DC, to make it in this, all in this fashion. So when it, my objective is to say you, when it moves from north to south, it covers one half cycle of your sine wave. Again it moves from south to north, it will cover another half cycle of your sine wave. So in this case we have four poles, see, north, south, north, south. So we have four poles over here. So how will our EMF and our magnetic field intensity look like? You can think about E only, okay, or E only, both will be same. So from north to south, that is this D to F. If I take the first rotation from D to F, we'll get the first positive half cycle. We get the first positive half cycle. Next, from the south to north, from F to H, we'll get another positive half cycle. Sorry, from north to south, we'll get positive half cycle like this. From south to north, we'll get positive half cycle like this. Then from again north to south, and again rotation will happen, we'll get positive half cycle. Then again from this south to north, we'll get one positive half cycle. Now, if you see the waveforms over here, waveform of the EMF over here, how much degree it has covered? EMF is an electrical quantity, so how much degree it has covered? So it will, it has covered two cycles of sine wave, that is 720 degrees. 720 degree.
আচ্ছা, নিচের নটটা মাইনাস হলো না কেন? উপরের
কোনটা?
নট যে নেগেটিভ রয়েছে, তো নর্থ থেকে সাউথে যাচ্ছে যখন ডান দিক থেকে ক্লকওয়াইজ ঘুরছি, আবার সাউথ থেকে তো মাইনাস নর্থে আসবে না?
হ্যাঁ, ওখানে প্রিন্টিং মিস্টেক, ওটা ঠিক আছে। তো মাইনাস লেখার কোনো মানে হয় না, জাস্ট দে হ্যাভ রিটেন ওভার হিয়ার দে আর গিভিং আ মাইনাস সাইন। জাস্ট আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড নর্থ টু সাউথ, আমি ওর জন্য মাইনাস বলিনি। নর্থ টু সাউথ পজিটিভ, south to north negative, this north to south again positive, then this south to north again negative. So this complete up to this is you are getting 720 electrical degrees of your EMF. But you see this rotor over here rotates from D back to D again. If I take eraser like this. So now what we have studied is I have moved from D back to D. So this is one circular rotation, that is 360 degrees. So this is 720 electrical degrees is equal to 360 degrees, which is mechanical degrees. Mechanical degrees. So how will you equate this? 720 is equal to 360. So 720 equal by multiplying some factor, that is P by 2. That factor comes out to be P by 2. And how many number of poles are there? 4. So 4 by 2 gives you 2. So 2 into 360 gives you 720 degrees. So this is how, if you are comparing your EMF and rotation, you will get a difference in electrical degree and mechanical degree. And the relation is electrical degree equal to P by 2 times mechanical degree. Okay. Why I have shown you that, you will see understand in the next slide, this one. Because we have derived at last the equation, what is Ns equal to 120F by P. That is my objective. Now first point, I think just recall all these things what I have shown, that how the rotation is done and all. Just think about it once, then we will go in the slide. Means rotation is done under four pole machine, then from north to again back to north we have 2 complete cycles of EMF wave. Like this, remember the small points so that we can understand our next slide. So in a 4 pole machine, see, in one revolution, right, one revolution means 360 degrees. The rotor is rotating only one times. 3 is complete D to D, one revolution. There is 2 cycles of EMF generated, 2 cycles, right, 2 complete cycles of sine wave. So that means 2 cycles of EMF generated. How we are getting that 2 cycles? We can do it P by 2, that factor P by 2, that is 4 by 2. Thus what we can say, in short, we can say that in a P pole machine, in one revolution, okay, revolution per second, not minute, in one revolution P by 2 cycles are generated. Hope everybody has understood. P pole machine, one complete revolution of the rotor, how many cycles of your EMF waveform is generated? P by 2, that is 2 cycles. Okay. So if it is n revolutions, if it has to go n revolutions, this is for one revolution. So if it has to go for n revolutions, 50 revolutions, what you will do is multiply P by 2 with that 50. Okay, so P by 2 into n. So if it is n revolution, my number of cycles into n will be the EMF generated. Now, what is this? Cycles generated. Cycle means what you tell, frequency, right? Cycles per second is your frequency. So this basically is your frequency, which is over here we are getting. So cycle per second is equal to frequency is equal to Pn by 2, which is cycle per seconds or hertz. Sorry. Now this small n, where is my mouse? This small n which we have taken is 1 revolutions per second. But generally in your questions what you get is revolutions per minute. When you study a machines, on your nameplate is written 1500 RPM, not RPS is given. It's given 1500 RPM, 1000 RPM. So we'll convert this n into capital N. And small n, always remember, it is for revolutions per second. Capital N is revolutions per minute, RPM. So n converted to this will be n by 60, capital N by 60. That is nothing but small n. So 60 into 2 gives you 120. So F is equal to Pn by 120. And this speed n is called your synchronous speed. So Ns is equal to 120 F by P. This is how your derivation comes out for your synchronous machines. Okay. Sorry, sir. And you can convert this. Ns is in RPM. And you can convert this RPM also into rad per second. So omega s. So that is converted by 2 pi Ns by 60. Again, n is in RPM. So divided by 60. If it is an RPS, you could have used small n. So it would have been 2 pi small n. No need of 60. Okay. Since Ns is in RPM, we are dividing it by 60. So up to now, what we have done, we have understood my magnetic field is rotating in nature, and it is rotating at a speed of Ns is equal to 120 F by P, and F is your supply frequency. What frequency will give? P is the number of poles, you can understand it, and Ns is your synchronous speed or the rotational speed of your magnetic field. And if you want to convert this into rad per second, which you will require in problem, what you have to do, 2 pi Ns by 60. So that will give you your omega s. Give your attendance in the first session only. Up to 10:20 give your attendance. Don't give attendance after that. I'll not consider attendance after 10:20. Okay. Now, pointer options. Sorry. One thing I had already said you, that my magnetic field is rotating in nature, and the maximum value of that magnetic field that is produced, or the resultant of the magnetic field at any point of time, is constant. That is radius of the circle. If you remember, if I go to the next slide, this radius, this red line, this is the radius of the circle, this green line, radius of the circle, blue line, radius of the circle. So this radius are all equal in magnitude. So what we'll do is the calculation for that. So I have taken over here your 3 axis R, Y, B. You can take A, B, C also, no problem. So R, Y, B. So R, this is your Y, this is your B. You can take this as A, this as B, this as C. Then accordingly, rotor conductors are also drawn. These are all separated by 120 degree. Now, I'm going to this figure, previous figure, for you to understand in a better way. Now, what we are giving is a supply to this A magnet, B magnet, C magnet, 3-phase supply. So 3 currents will be produced over here. 3 currents we are supplying. One to the A is I at an angle 0. To the B is I at an angle some minus 120, and this I at an angle minus 240 or plus 120. And again, these poles are separated by 120 degree, right? From A to B, 120 degrees. So the magnetic field or the MMF that will be generated will be again separated by another factor 120 degree in space. In time, it is separated by 120 degree. Plus this, since this pole are separated by 120 degree, so the magnetic axis will again be separated by another 120 degree over here in space. Now see my first point over here in this slide which are discussed. The supply is 3-phase, right? So we are giving 3-phase supply IR, IY, IB. Now 3 phases, 3 currents. We can take cos omega t, we can take sin omega t, anything you can take, no problem. Both are sine functions only. Cos can be expressed in sine. So I am cos omega t, I am cos omega t minus 120, I am cos omega t minus 240, or you can write plus 120. Now since the magnetic fields or magnetic axis due to the placement of the poles are also 120 degrees apart, the MMFs that will be produced will be 120 degrees apart. So there is another factor I included over here. See, I have made FR, FY, FB. Fm cos omega t, Fm cos omega t minus 120, Fm cos omega t plus 120. This is at an angle 0, so cos theta. I'm taking the space angle by theta and time angle by omega t. You can take space angle as alpha also. In many books they have given alpha. That is up to you. You can take theta or alpha. Then Fy cos theta minus omega 120 degree. This is cos theta plus 120 degree. So 3 magnetic MMFs, Fr, Fyb, separated in time domain by 120 degree as well as separated in space by 120 degree. This is space
এই
separation.
ফরওয়ার্ড করে হলো ঠিক বুঝতে পারলাম না এফ এর যেটা
F হচ্ছে F কি n into I, ঠিক আছে, কারেন্টের ফ্যাক্টর থাকবে, there will be a current
হ্যাঁ
factor plus
হ্যাঁ
since this magnetic axis is এখানে যদি if you draw a magnetic axis, one magnetic axis will be this direction, another magnetic axis will be this direction, one magnetic axis will be this. You are supplying current over here at 120 degree, but it says this magnetic axis in its domain is at some angle, so at an angle 0. This magnetic axis is at 120 degree. Instead of we are supplying the supply is 120 degree, no problem, but we have to include the factor of this magnetic axis also. The reference magnetic axis থেকে কতটা separation, because F is your which quantity, magnetic quantity, we have to take that magnetic axis also over here. Current to direct we are supplying to ABC coming from the 3-phase supply, and then that current is given to the poles which are itself separated by 120 degrees, so that second factor is coming. Okay, understood? Yes, second factor is because they are separated in space by 120 degrees. Now how to find out a resultant? What you do, you add the 3 vectors. So next step what we will do, we'll add, next slide what we'll do, we'll add Fr, Fy, Fb. Okay, so next slide I have written Fr, Fy, Fb. Now since your magnet MMF is a function of t, time axis, as well as space angle theta, so my F will come in terms of theta and t, so I have written F as a function of theta and t. You see in these 3 things Fm is common, so I can take Fm common, and in bracket I can write this factor plus this cosine factor plus this cosine factor I can write. So next step what I have done, I have written that one only. Fm cos factor, this 3 cos factors. Next I have done some simple calculations. Cos A cos B can be written as half cos B minus A into cos plus cos B plus A. So that I have broken out. So B, this is A, so that's why I have broken out into this. This you can do it on your own. I am leaving it up to you. You can do it. I am just telling the formula cos A cos B half cos B minus A plus cos B plus A. That you can put it and find out. So cos omega t, if you want to do it, you can find out half cos B minus A, theta minus omega t, theta minus omega t, B plus A, theta plus omega t, see, theta plus omega t. So you can do all these calculations. Next factor is cos A cos B. So this is B, this is A. Then you do the following calculations, then you will get this factor. Then again this one. Okay, cos A cos B, this factor, then you will again get this over here. Now what I have to do, Fm is common. Okay, Fm is common. I am adding all these 3 factors. So can I say that all the factors which are written in point 1, this one, this one, this one can be added? So I am adding this. See, first term is same for it. 0.5 cos theta minus omega t. Here is also 0.5 cos theta minus omega t. 0.5 cos theta minus omega t. So this 3 if added, you will get 1.5 cos theta minus omega t. Next, what we did is we broke up this one, cos theta plus omega t minus 240. You see your cos conversions, you can find out cos theta plus omega t plus 240 can be written as cos theta plus omega t minus 120 degree. And cos theta plus omega t minus 240 can be written as cos theta plus omega t plus 120 degree. And then you go for your addition, cos A plus cos B, you can do it, and it will yield as minus cos theta plus omega t. So if you see over here, if you are adding these 2 factors, this one and this one, that is what I am telling, is if you are adding these 2 factors, what I am getting, my resultant is equal to, you are getting my resultant as cos theta plus omega t. Okay. And there is a third term over here. Sorry, minus cos theta plus omega t, minus. So there is a third term over here, cos theta plus omega t. And both factors are same over here. See, 0.5 only. 0.5 is my factor over here. So this part and this cos theta plus omega t cancels out. This is minus cos theta plus omega t. This is plus cos theta plus omega t. So only what remains is my running off. Okay, 10 minutes left. You can join the meeting after 10 minutes to the same meeting ID. This three terms get added out. This all terms cancels out to be 0. So that's why what we are getting, the resultant has 1.5 Fm cos theta minus omega t. So as I told you, see, it is rotating in nature. Theta minus omega t, you place your value cos omega t 0, omega t 90, you will get different values of theta. So you will get different rotational angle. Okay, 1.5 Fm is always constant. This magnitude is always constant. Okay, so it will always have a magnitude of 1.5 theta. So that's why my last point as a conclusion I have written, the resultant MMF is distributed in both space and time because it is dependent upon theta and omega t, and its peak value is constant at 1.5 Fm. It can be termed as rotating magnetic field. As of now, you know it is rotating in nature with sinusoidal space distribution. Cos can be expressed in sine, so you can write in sine because all forms cos, tan, everything comes from sine only. So, and whose space angle changes linearly with omega t. As you change your omega t value, theta will change linearly. So up to now, we have found out how magnetic field is rotating in nature when we have given a three-phase supply, and it always have a maximum value of 1.5 theta Fm or whatever may be the maximum value. Okay, this is what I wanted to show you up to rotating magnetic field. For this conclusion, 8 minutes left, right? We can study. I have given a small video over here. Just go through it. Okay, 3-4 minutes video. Go through it. I'm starting the video. All this what I have told you is concluded in the video. Very good video.
Let's have a discussion about working of three-phase induction motor. For understanding the principle of three-phase induction motor, we first look at the basic constructional feature of this type of motor. This motor mainly consists of two major parts. First one is stator. Stator of this motor is made up of number of laminations of cold grain-oriented silicon steel to reduce hysteresis and eddy current loss. The inner periphery of this cylindrical stator is provided with number of slots. A three-phase winding is so similarly distributed among these slots that when a three-phase power is supplied, a rotating magnetic field is produced. This magnetic field rotates at a synchronous speed. Second one is rotor. Rotor of a three-phase induction motor consists of cylindrical laminated core with parallel slots. Conductors are heavy copper or aluminum bars, and they are short-circuited by an end rings, which fit in each slots. Now, initially when the rotor is standstill, the flux of rotating magnetic field cut every solid conductor of the rotor. As the rotor conductors are stationary and sinusoidal stator field is rotating, there will be a change in flux linkage with the rotor conductor. As a result, there will be an induced current in the rotor conductors as per Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Whenever this current starts flowing through the conductor, it reacts with the magnetic field. Again, as we know that current carrying conductor inside a magnetic field experiences a mechanical force. Hence, here a mechanical force will be experienced by the rotor conductors. Due to this force, the rotor will start rotating inside the stator, and the rotor will try to achieve the speed of rotating magnetic field. Once the rotor achieves the speed of rotating magnetic field, there will be no relative speed between the rotor and the rotating magnetic field. Hence, there will be no current induced in the rotor conductor. That means, at that condition, no mechanical force acts on the rotor conductor. Hence, the rotor decelerates. As the rotor decelerates, again a relative speed between rotor and rotating magnetic field is re-established, and hence there will be again current induced in the rotor conductor, which causes mechanical force to act again on them. As a result, the rotor again accelerates to reach the speed of the rotating magnetic field. Due to this phenomenon, the rotor will never reach the speed of rotating magnetic field, and also the rotor will not stop rotating till the three-phase power is there in the stator. Actually, the rotor rotates with a speed slightly less than the speed of rotating magnetic field. This is how a three-phase induction motor works. Thank you.
So there will be always a relative speed between this magnetic field and this rotor conductors, and that is termed as slip speed. The relative speed between rotating magnetic field and rotor conductors is termed as slip speed. So that slip speed is ns minus nr, and your ns is synchronous speed. Nr we are taking as rotor speed. Many books have taken n, m or n. You can take any. Now, slip is generally expressed as a ratio, as a dimensionless quantity. This relative speed has a dimension RPM, but in order to make it simple, we make it a ratio, a dimensionless quantity divided by ns. Like you calculate voltage regulation, no load minus full load by no load. Slip, think it's similar over here also. Slip is ns minus nr by ns. Ns minus nr by ns. So this value generally ranges from 0 to 1. Tell.
হ্যাঁ স্যার বলছি যে আমার নেটের সমস্যার জন্য আমি ওই আপনার আগের স্লাইডটা একটু বুঝতে অসুবিধা হলো, একটু আগের স্লাইডটা একটু বুঝিয়ে দেবেন?
আগের স্লাইড এইটা?
আচ্ছা, এরপরেই কি ওই এই স্লাইডটা পড়াচ্ছেন তাই তো?
হ্যাঁ, এরপরে এই স্লাইড জাস্ট ভিডিও চালিয়েছিলাম, আই টার্ন অন আ ভিডিও দেন।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, তাই ঠিক আছে, তাই ঠিক। আচ্ছা,
সো
রোটর স্পিড কি লোডের উপর ডিপেন্ড করবে?
হ্যাঁ, অবভিয়াসলি লোডের উপর।
ঠিক আছে। ওভারলোড হয়ে গেলে তাহলে কি হবে?
হ্যাঁ, নো লোড স্পিড বেশি হবে, ফুল লোড স্পিড কমবে। হ্যাঁ, নো লোড স্পিড will be the highest as you increase the load. হ্যাঁ, it will go on decreasing.
স্যার বলছিলাম যে ওই স্লিপটা যেটা রেশিও যদি না করে ns মাইনাস nr শুধু নেওয়া হতো, কারণ বলা হচ্ছে যে
that you can take no problem, but this is a convention we take like this slip ns minus nr by ns to make it dimensionless হলে ফিজিক্সে পড়নি অনেক কিছু সুবিধা হয়, ডাইমেনশন হলে অনেক কিছু ব্যাপার থাকে। ডাইমেনশন হলে একটা রেশিও নিলে খুব সুবিধা হয়ে যায় না জিনিসটা। হ্যাঁ, ওই জন্যই জাস্ট রেশিও নেওয়া আর কিছুই।
এই ফর্মুলাটা তো পাচ্ছি
0 to 1 টা লেখা আছে।
0 to 1 বিকজ ns minus nr কত হবে? এটা যদি 1500 হয়, এটা 1000, তাহলে 500 by 1500 অলওয়েজ 0 to 1 এর মধ্যেই হবে।
ও আচ্ছা আচ্ছা আচ্ছা,
এর মধ্যে ভ্যারি করবে।
It will vary between 0 to 1. We will check what will be the value. It can be negative also, it can be 2 also. But we are studying induction motor, that's why it is 0 to 1. We will study about that, no problem. Okay. But for now, since we are studying induction motor, we will consider it 0 to 1. Okay. Percentage slip, you will multiply it by 100. So that's why percentage slip is like this. Next, we'll go through it very quickly. Rotor frequency, there is a rotor EMF also, rotor current, in what, how it will rotate. We know that frequency we have calculated ns is equal to 120 f by p, right? From there f is equal to p into n by 120. কি হলো? বন্ধ হয়ে গেল। আচ্ছা, দেখা যাচ্ছে তো স্লাইড? আমার কম্পিউটারে বন্ধ হয়ে গেছিল।
হ্যাঁ স্যার, দেখা যাচ্ছে।
ওকে আচ্ছা, তাহলে সেম থিং ওভার হিয়ার, fr is equal to p into p by 2 into the relative speed between the rotor magnetic field and the rotor conductors, ns minus nr. So ns minus nr, from this formula, can I write ns minus nr is equal to SNS? So ns minus nr can be written as SNS over here, SNS. So I am taking this S outside, P into ns by 2. So P into ns by 2 go into the previous slide over here. P into n by 2. P into n by 2 is nothing but your frequency. Frequency. So that is nothing but your supply frequency Fs. So S into Fs. So since this FR rotor frequency is mute your mics. Since your rotor frequency is dependent on your slip, so that's why it is also called as slip frequency. Okay. Next, this is an important formula required in problem. This is an important formula required in problems. Okay. Next, I have taken two problems. Very quickly, we'll go through it and understand some calculations. We have taken a 4-pole 3-phase 50 Hz induction motor. Calculate synchronous speed. You know the formula. Ns is equal to 120 F by P. So 120 into 50 by 4, as given in the question. 1500 RPM. Synchronous speed calculated. Now frequency of the rotor current, we have calculated S into Fs. So each time some conditions will be given, at each time we have to calculate our slip. Now first condition they have given is at standstill. What does standstill means? My rotor is not rotating, so NR will be 0. So you just remember this formula. If NR is 0, what will be the formula? Ns by Ns, so slip equal to 1. So at standstill, when rotor is not rotating, NR is 0, slip is equal to, where is my mouse? Slip is equal to 1. So if slip is equal to 1, what is FR? Last slide. FR is equal to S into Fs. So 1 into Fs. It will be nothing but your supply frequency. So 50 Hz. Next, motor is rotating at 500 RPM in the same direction of the field. Both bodies moving in same direction. Relative speed will be minus. So 1500 minus 500, normal calculation. By 1500, that gives you 2 by 3 slip. Okay, then FR will be 2 by 3 into S into Fs. So 2 by 3 into 50, 33.33 Hz. Just look at it. No need to look at this FR calculation. You just think about the slip calculation for now. 2 by 3. So 2 by 3 is less than 1. So my frequency is 0 to 1 only. Means slip is 0 to 1. So it is motoring mode. Means it is behaving as an induction motor itself. Now next, number C. Motor is running at 1500 RPM, opposite direction. Okay, opposite direction, so speed becomes negative. So minus of minus 500. So 15 minus of minus 500, that gives you 2000 by 1500. So now slip becomes 1.33. That is braking region. Okay, when we change the motor rotation, when we try to change your motor rotation and bring it to stop, you might have studied this word braking. When we try to stop a motor, what we do, we change some, if a DC motor is there, we change the armature terminals and rotate in the opposite direction and try to bring it in the stop. There are 3 modes of braking. If you remember, regenerative braking, dynamic braking, plugging. So braking is basically when we are trying to make the induction motor stop by trying to make it rotate in the opposite direction. And last, what is there? If I am taking the 2000 RPM in the same direction. So if you take 2000 RPM in the same direction, the slip becomes in the negative direction, minus. And that when my slip becomes negative, it is called generating mode. That is, it behaves as a generator. My induction motor behaves as a generator. So that's why in the previous slide, someone was asking 0 to 1. Since we are studying the induction motor, we are using slip 0 to 1 only, 2 by 3. Any other modes will give you braking and generating, which we'll study later in torque slip characteristics. Okay. It's a very simple problem. You need to understand the direction of rotation and put the values, calculate the frequency. Next problem, you can go through it. It's given in Himra. I have just used that problem. Some 6-pole 50 Hz induction motor is given and galvanometer makes 90 complete oscillations in 1 minute. So from here you can calculate, and galvanometer, see, galvanometer is connected to rotor circuit. So from that galvanometer, I can calculate the frequency because it is making some complete oscillations, 90 oscillations in 1 minute. So I can calculate cycles per second. That is 90 by 60. That gives you 1.5 Hz. And that will be rotor frequency since galvanometer is connected in the rotor circuit, 1.5 Hz. Now what is my objective? They have told to calculate NR, right? Rotor speed. I can calculate S. You know S is equal to F2 by F1, or we can write FR by Fs, what is given over here. So Fs is 50 hertz, so 1.5 by 50, that gives you 0.03. And then from your slip formula, another formula of slip is Ns minus Nr by Ns. From here you can take SNs and Ns over here, bring Nr on the other side, what it will come? Ns minus Sns. So take Ns common, it will be 1 minus S. Substitute your Ns value, 120 F by P, that is 6 poles, so 120 into 50 by P into 1 minus S, that gives you 970 R. Very small problem, very easy problem. And lastly, this thing you should remember, because it requires in many problems, then you don't need to calculate this. See, I have calculated 120 into 50 by 6 and put the values, then I have used it. In maths, you have to show calculations, exam problems, but in GATE or any competitive problem, if you know all these values, then it will be very easy for you to get your NS. See, I have differentiated 2, 4, 6, 8. These are the common things that come. All frequency 50 hertz. So for 2 pole, NS is 3000, this is 1500, this is 1000, this is 750. If you remember these values and the number of poles, it will be very easy for you to solve competitive problems. Okay. So up to this, we have understood all the things: rotating magnetic field, what is slip, how it rotates, what is the maximum value of the rotating magnetic field. All this we have done. Now next day we'll jump directly into induction motor, study all the equivalent circuits, study its various equations. Induction motor consists of problems. This all part what we have done is theoretical part. Slip calculations, this calculations, FR calculations are mathematical. Next we'll jump all into your mathematical